Guys, Justin from Yu-Gi-Oh! Vets here. I wanted to go over some quick techs here that I like to use, making a video about techs for side decks and main decks, especially in the new format where E-Dragons and spellbooks are running rampant. So let's go ahead and look at our first card, just dive right into it. Forced Back. Negate the special summon or flip summon of a monster and return the monster to the opponent's hand. I really like Forced Stack in this format. There's lots of Emo Swarms and Gunstellars running around, and you can just negate that double summon that goes off and pisses you off. They try to double summon for caster, that's not going to happen, because Force Back negates it. And negating a caster for an Evil Swarm deck kills it right there. Same with Constellar when they try to get out one of their double summon monsters out. You can use it for Tour Guide, negate that effect right there, Rescue Rabbit. Anything critical early game, Force Back is good for. It's actually good mid-late game too, because you just shut whatever they try to do down right there. If you have control of the game, they summon a monster out that you think they're going to go into Synchro and try to beat you with, it's Force Back. Force Back is a great card in this format. I personally don't side any of them, but I've certainly thought about main decking a couple. And let me tell you, it's been a good option for some of the decks. Next card I want to talk about, Anti-Spell Fragrance. As long as this card remains face up on the field, both players must first set spell cards when they use them and cannot activate them until the next turn. Anti-Spell Fragrance screws over spellbooks so hard, it's not even funny. It just shuts them down completely. I personally side 3 of them in every deck. And I even main it in a fun Evil Swarm deck because it doesn't really hurt Evil Swarms that much because all your spells are quick play that you're going to set anyways. It's so incredible just to shut down spellbooks right there. Hell, I could even use it against E-Dragons because they do have spells that they rely on, and if they can't get them off, it does hurt them a little bit. It's not critical. I probably wouldn't side it, but give it a try and see what you think for it. Anti-Spell Fragrance is one of the most underrated cards in this format, and I truly do like it. Next card I want to go over is another spell card, Message in a Bottle. Target 3 monsters with different levels in your graveyard. Special summon all 3 of them. Their attacks become 0. Also, their effects are negated. If you do not XYZ summon this turn, after summoning these 3 monsters, you lose 4,000 life points during the end phase. You cannot special summon any other monsters except Exceed summons during this turn you activate this card. Now, that's pretty good. I run decks with a level 4, 5, or 3, and I just slap Effect Veilers or Max C's in there. And you get those off, and you have to play Message in a Bottle in accordance with your hand. Let's say I'm running Evil Swarms, and I have a caster in the grave, and a caster in my hand, and I have an Effect Veiler in there, and I have some of the random level 5 cards sitting in there. I activate Message in the Bottle, I plus on 3 cards just right there, and then I play Caster, which allows me to summon another monster from my hand. Now I have a full field, and I can go into Ouroboros or Shockmaster, or I could just not, just a standard play, like just play Mandragora along with the Message in a Bottle. It allows me to go +2 into Ophion. It's crazy how good this card is. I don't think anybody realizes it yet, but I think it'll hit top 8 soon. It should. It's definitely good. Next card I want to go over, Card of Sanctity. Remove all cards in your hand and on your side of the field from play. Draw cards until you have 2 cards in your hand. I know. I realize exactly what the card says. It's an immediate downside. It sometimes gets stuck in the hand, and it sometimes is just not a good card. However, you do have decks in the format that waste their resources really fast and leave it all to one monster and leave it out just to protect it, like Evil Swarms. You get out an Ophion, your main part of the deck is to protect that Ophion once it's out. So, if you get your Ophion out and they somehow manage to destroy it, and you've wasted all your resources getting it out, like most Evil Swarm decks do, it's immediate. Card of Sanctity, you just got 2 cards in your hand, it's Pot of Greed. Of course, yes, it gets stuck in your hand like I've said before, but it's worth the risk sometimes, and I main deck it in one deck, and it hasn't worked out too bad, I've been down in the dumps, and it just pops your hand, and it's refreshing, really. It's like a Pot of Greed. And again, I wouldn't run it in 3s, or I wouldn't really even run it in competitive decks at this point. But maybe later in the format, when something comes along to boost its... I don't know. Yeah, I definitely consider running it at some point in this format. Next we have Deck Lockdown. Neither player can add cards to their hand except by drawing them, and cannot special summon monsters from the deck. Destroy this card during your second standby phase after activation. screws over E-Dragons really quick. You play the card, they're locked down. That's all there is to it. They are not going to get anything off, and you're going to screw them over. I run 3 of these in a side deck, along with Anti-Spell Fragrance, and it just shuts everything E-Dragon wants to do down. It also shuts down spellcasters, and it shuts down Pot of Avarice. It's quite a fun card. Not a lot of people realize it yet, I don't think. I came across it on the internet, and I bought it, and I was like, alright, let's roll with it. And it's worked out pretty well against E-Dragons and Spellbooks, I tell you what. Anti-Spell Fragrance and this card is pretty good. Next card I want to talk about, I know Patrick Hoban touched on it before. Upstart Goblins in 3 in every deck. I love the idea of it. I've thought about it before, but Pat kind of brought it to a different light. It is really just 37 cards as opposed to a 40 card deck with Upstart Goblin taking 3 slots. It allows you to get to your resource faster as opposed to using more of those resources. So when you do that, you're going to have a good time. I mean, yes, there's 1,000 life point costs. But really, life points have nothing to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! In my opinion. It's all about board control. You get the board controlled with your monsters, and they can't get over what you have in play, you're going to win the game. It doesn't matter if they have 16,000 life points. If they can't get over it, then you're going to win the game. It does not matter. Upstart Goblin makes it a 37 card deck. 40 card deck is optimum, so 37 is even better. I really like Pat's article. I left a link in the description. And I'd really suggest reading into it and using his logic to apply Upstart Goblin into your deck in 3s. Alright guys, those are all the cards I wanted to go over for this format, and I really appreciate you watching. I'm going to have more videos in the future, trade videos, deck profiles, all that good stuff. If you want to like this video and subscribe, that'd be really cool. Hopefully it'll be a good channel in the future. We're definitely working on it. Thanks for watching guys, like and subscribe. Have a good one.